mean, seriously, I just don't understand it. MU, Monsters Unleashed. You might as well have just called the book Monster Mash. You know that old song that old
Halloween
people
is
dance
just around the corner next month, and didn't we have something like Marvel Zombies?
I just don't get it.
I mean, why?
I mean, seriously, you'd think that, I swear, the world has slowly turned towards monsters and
Zombies, yeah. Why don't they just then call them mutants? Because it's what? Oh,
I think I'm demoting you back to camera person.
How about we don't?
I used to like when you used to zoom in on those comic books.
Excuse me, but I've been this long in these comic books. You're gonna demote me to get out of here. Do your thing.
But you know, you do make a good
bang,
zoom.
a bang. That's
You've been watching that boxer again, huh? I wonder if that's what happened with CM Punk. A bang, at the end. Yes, we did see that. Anyway, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. And like I said in the haul video this week, we were quite surprised, and we kind of overestimated this week. We underestimated last week with all those books. This week we overestimated, and I apologize. We are recording a couple of hours later, which means this will probably go up Wednesday morning instead of Tuesday night like we wanted. But that's only a matter of hours, so technically we are still in the midst of things. And today you're getting all your new comic books. I know that tonight, after I upload this, I'll be answering Pete, who already talked about his top from last week. I know that we got a couple of comments I got to answer on the haul video. Thank you guys so much for all those comments. Love them. We'll reply to them. It's just been a hectic day, and that's kind of why we're a couple of hours late with this review. It was a hectic day yesterday. That's kind of why we actually missed Frontline Live as well. But anyway, got a nice amount of books this week. Not a lot. We got a couple of number ones, which I actually checked out this time. I'm really delving deep in the indies. We did make our order this week from DCBS, and there is a new independent that will be joining the fray in issue number 1 of a series that we used to do a long time ago.
A long
time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Not in a galaxy.
Oh wait, this isn't Star Wars. This is reality. Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking forward to December now because there's a book that's returning. It's starting fresh in a mini-series. Maybe there'll be an ongoing. Or maybe the ongoing is still going on. I don't know, but I got discouraged after losing so many issues of it. But anyway, something new's coming. And then with the new year, if you want to hear about stuff with the haul, come check out Dark Avenger Live this Friday. We will be talking about the future of the Dark Avenger haul videos. Nothing bad. Lots of good, actually. And we will also be talking about October for my channel and a few other things. So pass by and come check out the announcements. Not announcements, come check out the updates.
Updates.
But while you're here, let's get into the books that came out last Wednesday, a week ago today, which was
September 7, 2016, the first week of September.
That's right.
So let's start off with your book.
You know, this was a book I was not even going to look at, but it's called Glitterbomb. Issue number 1. Yes. Glitterbomb issue number 1. And I saw Mike Spider talking about it. I heard Jay talking about it. I think I heard Kat talking about it. And I had to check it out. Because it's like, when you hear multiple people talking about a book, which I know Pete recommended Black Axe, I got to get those first 2 issues and check that out. Because I also heard Mike Spider talking about Black Axe. But anyway, besides the point, Glitterbomb, wow. I mean, wow. I gotta read the next issue. So it's about this washed up actress who's a middle-aged mom, has nothing going for her. She's been going for jobs, for acting gigs for a while, and she hasn't been picked. It's due to her age. You know, a lot of younger talent comes in. And she's at this job interview. And the beginning of the book I'm leaving alone because we'll get to that at the end of the book. Because it starts at the end and goes, you know how those books work. So she gets depressed after not getting the position, the actress position, and this other woman saying, geez, your ancient history, I was like 10 when I watched you on TV, you're old. So she ends up going to this beach and she's debating committing suicide, and then something happens. Something supernatural drags her under the water, and apparently...
Oh, is it going to be like one of those books where she goes underwater and she had superpowers?
No. And apparently it possesses her, and now every time somebody tries to do something against her, it comes out and it attacks them, which leads us back to the end of the episode, the end of the issue, or the beginning, which is the end of the issue, where she's talking to her agent, and her agent's like, you're old, you're this, you're that. give me an angle, give me something, and then she kills him. But she doesn't kill him. The thing inside of her kills him, and it's like a spider arachnid kind of demon thing. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get more of an explanation to it. But basically, this thing prevented her from committing suicide or killing herself, and basically possessed her. And now it comes out every once in a while.
So it's to kill others.
And it's really awesome. And she has a son as well. We get to see a little bit of that in the babysitter, whom she owes a lot of money to. She's, like I said, she's pretty poor now because she hasn't gotten a job in a while. Really, really cool stuff. This was an interesting issue. I got to see where the next issue goes.
Alright, we'll see then.
Speaking of an issue, I enjoyed Kill or Be Killed issue 1. This is Kill or Be Killed issue number 2. Main character is staying alive as long as he kills one evil, one bad person, non-innocent. I forget if it's a week or a month. I'm mixing it up because there was that other book.
Didn't you say a month?
I think it's a month.
Yeah, because I remember
there's the
you
other
talk
book.
about
Remember
that.
the other book where the guy saved his daughter and he had to kill an evil. See, that's what I'm getting confused with. Because Kill or Be Killed, this man was saved by a demon and now he has to kill wrongdoers or bad people in order to stay alive. And the other book is about a guy whose daughter was about to die and he makes a deal with another demon and his daughter stays alive, but he has to kill somebody every week. See, notice how these books are very, very similar but different at the same time?
Yeah, I've noticed that actually.
That was weird because I'm just thinking about it now. That's very weird how two books very similar yet different are coexisting and very good. Both of them were very good.
Yeah,
so this issue, he actually has, he goes back into his childhood and remembers about this boy who was one of his best friends who was molested by his older brother, and he finds a way to get an untraceable gun, so this way he's able to perform those deeds once a month in order to protect him, to keep himself alive. And it was a wow issue. The ending was crazy as well, but he ends up getting a gun that's his father's, and it's unlisted, untraced because his father passed away. I find this book very interesting. I'm going to continue it for a while, see where it goes. This book was very interesting, and it's called Skybourne, issue number 1, obviously.
By Frank Cho.
The cover art is by Frank Cho.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Cover art.
And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. You see this guy at the beginning of the issue he jumps out of a plane without a parachute, tries to kill himself, crashes into the earth, doesn't die. Okay. Then we fast forward to this other girl whose last name also is Skybourne, and she's working for this foundation that gave this guy a lot of money for the sword, and it turns out the sword is Excalibur. And when he refuses to give it to her because there was somebody else coming for the sword, we find out that the girl has superpowers. And I'm talking like Superman level superpowers. Wow. And she makes easy work. It's a very graphic book. I would definitely say graphic book. So anybody who's like, "Ooh, my kids would love this," no, your kids might not.
You chose some good books this week.
And this book was awesome. She was invulnerable. She's able to, slice people. And wow, amazing. See, this is what you miss out on.
How do you hear about these things?
Anytime there's an issue number 1 now from an independent company, I always check it out.
Oh.
There are a lot of issue 1s. There were a few that came out this week that I really didn't like, whether it be art or story. But this book,
with the new job, and other things I'm doing.
I understand. But man, this book was good. You would love it.
Yeah.
And I love this issue. So she ends up getting the sword, obviously, because she kills everybody. And they're tracing it. It's a 99% match. And then they get attacked by this wizard guy.
A wizard guy.
Yeah. Looked like serious bald version of Merlin.
I know you were going to say Merlin.
Because it's Excalibur, man. And they're fighting, and she's kicking his ass. He's trying to fight her with magic. And then he finally gets his hands on Excalibur. And the girl, who is invulnerable, ends up getting stabbed.
Wow.
To be continued.
That's serious stuff right there.
I really out of all 3 books this week, I really like Skybourne. I can't wait for the next issue. Glitterbomb, I'm curious to see where that goes. Kill or Be Killed, like I said, I can't remember what the other book was, but it's very similar to that book. So I'll see which of those 2 books. Maybe both of them will keep my interest. But that book was very dialogue heavy. The other one had more of a story development. we'll have to wait and see. But I feel all of these books have potential. So we'll see how it goes as we move forward. Now DC Rebirth is slowing its pace a little bit. I think there's only a couple of #1s this month, and then we're just moving forward. I believe by the time we hit November, I think the December orders we did, there were no issue #1s. It was just continuations, which is great. There's miniseries coming up soon, but nothing too horribly crazy. We'll divide. There's like 4 of them. Not too bad.
All right. So we're going to start my book of Ninjak, issue number 19, and this is called Fists and Steel. And the reason why it's called Fists and Steel is because Ninjak, from the last issue we saw, is teaming up with the Eternal Warrior, and they're at their old age. And their objective is to go close a portal that is on the top of a pyramid. So they're going through like all this journey of getting there, and the artwork was really great, by the way. Valiant has tons of great artwork. And as they're going there, they run into a little bit of an easy obstacle, because it's not going to be easy going up there. And they run into this old man who has like this, I don't know if it's like dead flies power or something like that, because it made him feel young again of this experiment, and now they got to go through him in order to get to that pyramid. And with the spider thing in the background, with him feeling young again, I don't think it's going to be easy for both Ninjak and the Eternal Warrior. Really great stuff. I can't wait to see the next issue. And then the second story just deals with Neville trying to help Ninjak with Livewire in it, so he goes to his last resort of Punk Mambo. It's a whole big thing there. The last issue of Saints Hollow, issue number 6 from Zenescope. I'm going to tell you how it ended.
I started that and it looked like it was going to...
Basically, Sandy, I think that's what her name was, like she goes into this cave and then she finds out, what happened, where she found the missing boy that they were looking for. So she actually goes there and saves him successfully.
Okay.
As for the guy, though, he sort of made it out, but would not really... Like, there's like this demonic being under there that's like the strongest out of everyone from all hell and below and stuff like that. And it was really intense. I mean, this is for really mature readers, as the whole issue itself. But they made it out of there. They brought the boy back. And you know what the thing is? That I have a funny feeling it's going to be a volume 2.
Okay.
You know how there's going to be like 2 boys that went in there and then they see the whole... It didn't say DM with a question mark, but something tells me they're going to have a book that's similar to this.
Zenescope finds a way to connect things all the time.
Right.
I mean, look at Hellchild. She's now in Grimm Fairy Tales Apocalypse.
So basically, just Saints Hollow is just... Don't go in any caves that are like paranormal stuff, because it could really be dangerous. But I would definitely recommend a trade paperback, though. Really great issue. Issues 1 through 6. The Amazing Tales of Grimm Tales of Terror. Issue number 12.
Of Volume 2.
Of Volume 2. And this one talks about...
This volume probably will be ending soon, because I think they do it every year.
Every 13th issue, I think? Because this is number 12?
I don't know if it's every 13th issue, but... I remember when we were at New York Comic Con, we were talking about Grimm Tales of Terror, and Volume 1 was just ending, and Volume 2 was going to take over.
So yeah, probably Volume 3 is going to be coming, if they're going to make a Volume 3. But this issue was basically an app. They got to relate to us, nowadays with their tablet. And the app was talking about girls, really, like little girls talking to fairy princesses.
Okay.
And basically, this app, it drove them away somewhere, and they don't know where they were. So this detective is undercover, and then he's been hearing stories from the parents because he was chosen to interview them, and I thought it was a little fishy. So he goes to the creator's house, and of course, when he drank tea, something was weird about it, and when he took it, I'm like saying, wait a minute, something is going to happen. And sure enough, when he drank the tea, it got him all... drugged and everything. He was in the basement, and then they found out that the little girls that do the thing, they died, basically, and killed them. And then they used a guy as the prince to talk to on the app.
Wow.
I was like, whoa. That was like really extreme stuff, and there was more added to it, but I don't want to get too graphic, though. I mean, you could probably fill in the blanks, but... Wow, what a great story. Really looking forward to the next issue, actually. The Shadow, issue number 4, The Death of Margo Lane, issue number 4.
Well, that's what the miniseries is.
Well, yeah. And I thought this was the last issue, but apparently it isn't. The Shadow is trying to look about Margo Lane and about the whole exploding thing, and they are surprised that the Shadow survived that whole explosion. So what he wants to go encounter is the Red Empress. Because the Red Empress might be behind this whole exploding thing of going to kill the Shadow. Basically, her objective of that. And the whole issue is just him trying to get there, the Shadow knows, and creepy stuff.
Yada yada.
So the guy actually told him where he could find the Red Empress. He finds her, to be continued. So I don't know if the next issue is going to be the last issue, because I thought this was a 4-part miniseries. But
I guess it's still going.
Apparently, yeah, it's still going. So we're going to find out what happens next for that.
Alright, and the only physical indie we got this week.
The Walking Dead issue number 158, The Whisper War, part 3 of 6. Oh, I got it. Part 3 of 6. And something's telling me, I really don't know if Negan's turning the leaf for good. Because he's doing good, or trying to do good, but I have a feeling, like, you know how when you have that gut feeling he's doing good to trick us, that he might go back to being bad, because you know Zebra never changed his stripes or anything? Or was it she never changed its spots?
I don't know.
Or both, whatever. So the Whisperers, they're going around, killing people and then trying to get into Rick's community. And then there's this whole thing where Negan is talking with, what's his name? Not Eugene,
The guy that was working with
Dwight.
Dwight.
And he's still saying, I don't trust you with, having a gun or anything, and I want to show some artwork that's not too graphic, like this. No, not that one. There's really not any good pages. Let me see any good pages. Yeah, this is a good page, right?
Are those real zombies or those are the Whisperers?
Those are the walkers, but the Whisperers are behind them. Because remember, if you have their skin, they can't attack you.
Right.
So they're just going to Dwight's team, and then they're, trying to get them one by one. And Rick's actually getting everybody's trust in him, that everything's alright. Michonne joins the battle against the Whisperers, and Negan actually gets the gun finally, and gets the leader on the ground and just said that, you just better get up because I'm going to kill you and all that stuff. Now, see, I want to trust him. I really want to trust him, but I don't know.
The second you do.
But I know the second I do, and then when Rick says, the whole thing of trusting, he's going to go back. I don't know. I can't trust him, though. I don't know if he really learned his lesson or not. I can't decide. But it's a really good Whisper War part 2 of 6.
Now, Mike has all Marvel this week.
Well, there's only 2 Marvel.
There's only 2 Marvel books that he read this week, and I have no Marvel, so right after these 2, we're going into DC, so go with it.
But these are just, Silk issue number 12. So, Silk, with her 2 friends, they go into this place that we don't even know about, because she wants to find out about her parents, which is what her objective is. So, they just go around, and then they find it to be like a Jurassic Park-like place with dinosaurs. But it's really like a night thing where they meet up with this dragon, a talking dragon actually, named, I think it was Steve or William or something like... No, David. The name was David.
Steve?
No, it's David. I just remembered.
Steve, William, David. Okay.
Or whatever, yeah. So they meet with this talking dragon, and then they go to this place where there are Red Knights, or the Red Knight, because of that. So they get there, and under the Red Knight was actually a person. And it was Silk's mother.
Ooh. To be continued.
To be continued. Why? I wanted to know what happened next, but they had to leave on that cliffhanger.
Why?
But why? Indeed. And then my book of the week, as always, Spidey issue number 10. And I'm going to tell you why this was my book of the week of Spidey. Spidey teams along with Captain America. And he wants to learn how Captain America is so loved that everybody hates him. Because there are people that don't like Spider-Man, because you're a menace, because the Daily Bugle says blah, blah, blah. So he teams up with Captain America, and I like the whole chemistry together of, working together. Captain America telling him, I do good for this reason and that reason, and they just fight off against crime together. What Captain America did, when he saw that, as Steve Rogers, that Spider-Man was a menace, He went to the Daily Bugle and told J. Jonah Jameson, I know this guy. He means good. You better write something that he means good. And sure enough, he did. And Spider-Man was going like this to J. Jonah Jameson, like saying, hey, I was like, and he just closes the blinds. It's a classic Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson thing, where Jameson tries to one-up Spider-Man.
It seems like Spidey has more of the Spider-Man feel right now than the actual book.
This is why this has been my pick of the week almost every single time I read this book, because it has the classic feel to it. This is the Spider-Man that I like to read. This Spider-Man. So definitely, guys, you gotta pick up Spidey. If you're,
I don't understand why Marvel is so intent on being so diverse and so different.
Yeah, this is non-diverse.
Every lead character except for Spider-Man, Peter Parker, because I think they did it with Doc Ock already. That's why they're cooling down on changing Spidey again.
Probably.
They kind of were ahead of their time. Dan Slott was ahead of his time. He should have made Doc Ock Spidey when all this other diversity started, now where it's at its head. But anyway, beside the point, it's over now.
It's reader-friendly, this book.
I know, but I'm just saying that it's just Marvel is taking all their flagship characters, moving them off, having them replaced by other people like Iron Man and stuff. And I think Amazing Spider-Man has good stories because obviously the regular Spider-Man is still in Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know. Marvel will never reboot, which I got to give them credit for.
I'm surprised you haven't looked at Spidey, or have you?
I have. I'm very far behind, and I'm not reviewing that. That's a leisure read.
No,
but that's why I'm saying I'm enjoying Spidey. It feels classic. Why the Marvel Universe itself is so different now, and like X-Men are missing. Like literally, we're going in next year. We're not getting any events next year. No Death of X. No X-Men versus Inhumans, and monsters. No Resurrection of X. I believe that's what it's called. But basically, next year the events are focused on X-Men, and X-Men haven't been good for a very long time now.
Unless they go back and forth with time shifting.
And time. I don't think even time is gonna fix it this time. I legit think that the catalyst would be Steven Richards starting the Marvel Universe, like going back in time a little bit and starting it pre-Civil War, preventing Civil War, and letting the Marvel Universe move forward from there. Because honestly, things are so different now. It's too different. It's too crazy, and Marvel is too hell-bent on saying, look at how diverse we are. Whereas DC has diversity, but isn't telemarketing it. There's a lot of great diversity in DC Comics, and they're not flagshipping it. Main comics being like Green Lanterns, other characters that they're introducing throughout the universe, and Justice Society for a time was, Earth 2 was very diverse, and it was really cool. But now it's like, I don't know. I'm getting too deep into it. I'm going into my book.
Yeah, but basically what I was going to say...
I'm sorry, you weren't done.
No, just I was saying the next cover of the next issue looks like he's going to encounter Scorpion. That's it.
Okay.
Now you could go.
The one book that's not part of DC Rebirth, but I'm loving it, from Hanna-Barbera. We finally made it to the month where I started ordering these from DCBS. I wish I would have known that before I ordered another copy from Midtown, but now I know the future. The Flintstones, issue number 3. I like this book. Now, Dino's on the cover, obviously, because at the end of the last issue, Dino joined the book. And he is in a couple of panels here, there, and everywhere, but he's not the main story in this book. The main story in this book is them exploring space. They sent a monkey kind of off into space. I don't think they did it, and I agree with Pebbles. I think they just killed a monkey to make things... No, but they claim they did see the monkey, the aliens. These aliens come down, they catalog Earth, and then they leave, and then a little while later... and this is where it gets a little too real, where Fred is in this group where he was part of a war, and now he's kind of like one of the veterans, and we find out that a lot of the veterans... This is kind of too close to reality, where a lot of the veterans of that war ended up homeless. So it's getting a little bit too political in that sense. But they go away from that pretty quickly and go back to the funny, which is these alien teenagers who found Earth in a catalog actually show up, and they start partying in Bedrock, and they get this app that's like a laser, and they start killing people from Bedrock. And that's when Fred goes and gets his group, and they go back and they start fighting the aliens. And Pebbles, who I like, she's very smart. She actually uses the scientists to reach out to the aliens again and to tell them what's going on with their people. and that's where the alien, one of the police officers, comes back and takes all the kids back to their planet. What I like, though, is in the very end of the issue, again, another character that we are all used to seeing in the cartoon was the Great Gazoo. Gazoo is staying in Bedrock to make sure that they don't come back.
But he's not the little green alien. It's just like a
no, the Great Gazoo is
size.
just like almost average.
I mean, I like that they evolved it a little bit. You know,
I think it was a fun issue with aliens not invading, but kind of invading.
And also, is that the mayor like from the movie that turned out to be a complete jerk?
No.
Or was that?
So I like the cartoony fun stuff in it. I don't like when this book gets really seriously, deeply political. And it looks like every time they bring up Fred being a veteran or a war vet and his friends around him, and he finally says yabba dabba do, but it turns out a therapist is the one that taught them yabba dabba do it.
Oh.
So I didn't like that too much. That was classic for just Fred. Not too many people had that catchphrase of their own, and when you find out the origin of it, it kind of takes took a little bit away from Yabba Dabba Doo. Did they ever really
explain how he got Yabba Dabba Doo?
No, that was his catchphrase. Period. Didn't need a reason for it. Didn't need nothing. I didn't like that this book kind of gave it that reason and that background where Fred didn't make it up. He heard it from a therapist instead.
Yabba Dabba Doo it. You know,
well, no, it's Yabba Dabba Doo, but the therapist put an it at the end.
Well, better than the just do it thing, you know. I mean, just think of it that way.
I don't know. I could have lived without that one background. I would have liked Fred just to have done Yabba Dabba Doo on his own.
Harley Quinn, issue number 3.
How'd you like it?
I really liked it, actually. This is still where they're trying to get rid of the zombie apocalypse, but they have a friend that's joining, which is Miss Poison Ivy. But before we get into that, I can't remember this masked person for life of me. Red Tool, I think, yeah. He is wound up in the hospital and he's getting another arm or something, and he's not really that thrilled about it. And, yeah, there's some stuff going on. But they're trying to figure out how to get rid of the zombies. Meanwhile, Red Tool finds out that the arm that he has belonged to a chronic murderer, but it wasn't on the left, it was on the right. Or was it left and right, or I don't know. So, you know, they're just trying to use different methods and ways, with some great artwork, by the way, of how to lure the zombies and how they can kill them. So they go into the tunnel to see if that's going to work, and they meet up with some of these demonic stuff that's going on there. And they're just trying to find ways of getting away from the zombies. And they find them. But as the whole fight is going on, they use, what was that thing that they use? Some recovery beam that goes right through them and stuff like that. So with that, it gets them easier to, you know, kill them all. And then at the end, it's just them just celebrating what's going on. And this all, by the way, took place in Brooklyn of Coney Island.
There are a lot of zombies. There are a lot of zombies in Coney Island.
Mm-hmm, indeed. And we thought the city was infected with them. But really great book. It kind of gives a Deadpool feel to it, but in a good way, Deadpool. Now, this book I reviewed on Comic Frontline, so I'll just give the whole gist of the book. This is Green Arrow, issue number 6, and this is Sins of the Mother, part 1. Now, I was thinking it before reading this issue that I was going to leave off with Green Arrow on the island. Wrong.
Good.
This is actually a different perspective. It's still a good book. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good book. But this is just talking about Amiko's point of view. You know, about how she lived with Oliver Queen and how she learned about the Arrow, and then this watch that actually plays a story in this. And it goes back and forth from present to past with her being with the mother and the mother trying to convert her to being something that she's not. And just saying, you know, I'm not your sidekick, so I'm just going to leave you right there and then. So she goes to the Clock King, who actually appeared in, I believe it was Deathstroke, in that book. He actually makes an appearance in this issue, and then just sells the watch. And it's
Did she help the books I Give Michael connect?
Well, yeah. And then it's just a whole thing about her getting in the match with somebody, and then the rest you could actually hear from my review. But it's something where these guys knew that it was her name and then had guns pointed to her, so we gotta find out what happens in the next issue. Could be the agents from Shado the Mother, but really great book, in my opinion.
Alright. Justice League issue number 4 continues the story where Superman's at the core trying to stop these things from shaking the earth. Cyborg was in trouble last time. The Lanterns, Simon Boz and Jessica Cruz. Right?
Cruz.
Because Jessica Drew is Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
Okay, Jessica Cruz, they're fighting the alien ships. So they're trying to stop this on all fronts. And it turns out this is all the Kindred and the beings doing it. That the Earth is ready for the purge, so to speak. That's what these guys are for. So these alien ships are attacking Earth. These beings want to purge the Earth. And the failsafe, if they fail, is those things in the center of the Earth explode and it destroys the planet anyway. So what they're doing is Superman is at the center of the Earth trying to stop the failsafe, and the others are on, the planet Earth trying to stop the Kindred, and the Green Lanterns are trying to stop the aliens in space. And that's really the gist of this entire book. Wonder Woman's trying to talk with the Kindred, and Superman's still at the core. Batman is giving up on Superman. Lois had a really good line in this book with, pertaining to Superman and Batman's relationship, previous Superman, New 52 Superman, and how Batman needs to trust their Superman because he saved not only their world, but this world several times without anybody knowing. Superman finally is able to destroy one of, and I'm not going to say how, the fail-safes, and now all he has to do is get rid of the other 3, which is going to be some hard shit to do. Barry is getting attacked by the Kindred. Cyborg is getting attacked by the Kindred. And we get a really interesting surprise on the planet where the alien ships are black holing in from. And it's crazy. This book is very all over the place at times. I don't know. I think that we need to get past this first arc. And then we'll see where the rest of this book is going to go. Me personally, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're getting off of Jeff Johns' Justice League, which was amazing. The only thing I didn't read from Jeff Johns' Justice League was the Rise of Atlantis, and that's because it crossed over with Aquaman. And now I semi-regret it because I heard it was really good. But anyway, another book, Nightwing. I almost said the book after that. Nightwing, issue number 4. I thought I'm sorry, I'm not showing the picture. I thought that this was going to take a little bit longer than I expected, but I guess I was wrong. Nightwing and Raptor attack the Parliament of Owls. Yeah.
What?
I thought what was going to last for about a year in Nightwing ended in less than an issue. He's on the, where is it? The Parliament Grove. He's with Raptor. He sees all the people that he saved still basically as slaves to the Parliament. And he's like, I'm done. Tonight is the night. We are going to free the what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? The slaves. And it turns out that the leader of the Parliament finds out, the head, and it turns out he's some type of a mutant owl thing. And he attacks Nightwing and Raptor as they're trying to save the people. And also, in the beginning of the book, we find out about the Book of Wisdom, which they also have in these coins that have all the Talons' names on them. So you have the whole list of Talons on these, like, memory coins. So their goal is to free the people, get the coins, get the Book of Wisdom, and get out. And they fight this demon bat thingy, and it turns out Raptor gets severely hurt. He's literally on the cusp of death. Nightwing saves him. They get the book and the coins, and Raptor kind of pushes Nightwing out basically because they beat the Parliament now, and basically it makes it look like Raptor's kind of sacrificing himself what's the word I'm even looking for? But that he'd see Nightwing again, basically. But this is where they go their separate ways because they beat the Parliament. Nightwing hands the book over to Tiger and Spiral. Spiral is translating the Book of Wisdom and the coins so they can get the names of the court. The Parliament Grove is seized by the police. Damian, who they threatened they were going to blow his head off, it turns out, because in the very beginning, Nightwing took all the bombs out, Damian's completely fine. Mission success, but you still see a little bit of not animosity, but you could see that Nightwing and Batman kind of are still at kind of odds ends. And then we get a little bit of a twist in the very end of the book with Raptor. Turns out Raptor wasn't what we, or Nightwing, were led to believe he was. However, Nightwing issue number 5, as they said here and in Batman as well, which we'll get into as well, the next issue of Nightwing is, and Batman issue 7 is for Night of the Monster Men. So Monster Men, remember that crossover we talked about?
Yep.
Monster Men is coming at the end of September in Nightwing issue 5. The next Batman issue, not this one. And I believe it's also crossing into... I think it's crossing into Detective Comics as well.
We'll find out.
But then we come back next month in October for Raptor's, the next story arc with the Raptor. This book literally went from bottom of my pile to top in one issue. Well, not very top. There's still other books. But I'm saying Aquaman issue number 6. Superman. See, this is what I love. DC Rebirth put Superman back where he belonged. Like, he was like an outlaw, nobody liked him, yada yada. Now he's working with the president. The president actually sent him to detain Aquaman because of what happened in the previous issue. So Superman's there to try to help. He wants to help Aquaman, try to figure things out, bring the League in if he has to, and basically, he's trying to be on the side of Aquaman. But of course,
I knew that
Aquaman wants to go back to the sea. He wants to figure out what's going on, so it turns into a bit of a fight between Aquaman and Superman. Aquaman has his army come in because they see he's being attacked, and basically he uses his army to threaten America and Superman, and what happens is he turns his army away. He doesn't let them attack.
So Aquaman has more than just fish friends.
Yeah, he turns them away, and I like how in this issue he's like, you guys have you, Wonder Woman and Batman have the Trinity, the Flash and Green Lanterns and Cyborg have their little thing going on. I'm like the black sheep of your group. There is no Aquaman and. It's just me. And Superman's like, you're not the black sheep. You never were. You were always a part of our group. And in the end, basically, Superman has to stand down because he doesn't want to start a war between America and Atlantis. But at the same time, he gives Aquaman a stern warning, fix this or else. And I love how Mira, at the very end of the issue, is like, did he really threaten you? And he's like, yep. And she's like, well, what does that mean? He's like, it means I really have to fix this. And then we find out a little bit more about Black Manta and Nemo. And let's just say Black Manta definitely steps up to head of Nemo by the end of this issue. This is great. I can't wait to see where the next issue goes. It was cool to see Superman guest star in Aquaman. Superman will be guest starring also in Nightwing in December, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm really glad that Superman's getting out there. Superman, and as far as I'm concerned, Rebirth is doing everything right that they did wrong with Superman when New 52 happened. I'm really glad that DC realized the mistakes that were made and are not only rectifying it, but I mean they introduced us to John, who's a really awesome character now as well. We'll get into that in another couple of books. But first, Batman issue number 6, which is all about Gotham Girl. She's talking to her brother still, like Hank is right next to her, and she shaves her head. She's going around with like let's see if I can get a good picture. Nope. There we go. So she shaves her hair off, so she kind of looks like Batwoman a little bit now, but with blonde hair. And she's doing these deeds, and it goes through an entire week. And you got Duke that's kind of worried about her, Batman that's starting to get worried about her. Great artwork in this book, by the way. But Gotham Girl is basically lost. She's just talking nonstop to her brother, like he's right next to her, and he's not. And she stopped this guy who's like a pirate. Batman tries to reach out to her. She kind of flies away, ignoring him. Another day, she fights this guy who's like a kite. This was a really bad villain, the Kite Man or whatever he called himself. Kite Man. She stops him, and then Batman kind of reaches out to her for help, and finally gets through to her when he admits that he was Bruce Wayne, and he did the same thing with his mother, that he was talking to her even after she was dead. And you can just see that Gotham Girl's like broken because of it. And then the last page is him going to Amanda Waller because he wants to find Psycho Pirate and fix things. And it turns out Psycho Pirate is now in the custody of Bane. Now, issue number 7 of Batman is connecting with Nightwing with Monster Men. I believe issue number 8 is where we go into the suicide mission. So I'm looking forward to that. We have 2 issue number 1s this week. Mike, I gave this book to, and I'm not surprised with what he's about to probably say.
This is a rebirth of Cyborg.
Is it the one-shot, or let me see it again?
It's still the one-shot, Rebirth.
Yep, it's a Rebirth one-shot.
And I am not going to lie to you. This book was amazing. I am going to show you why I think it's amazing.
I did not like the Rebirth one, the New 52 Cyborg series.
Well, I'm going to show you how they rectified that. See, they known Cyborg as Subject Zero, and I like how when they get to the scene of where he's fighting one of the Star Labs experiments, they go to back to his father, Silas, who met up with
Silas.
Yeah, Silas, who met up with what's her name? Eleanor. And then, it talks about how they got married and had a baby. And the artwork in this book is just simply that stunning. Like, really great artwork. And it's just going back and forth between how when he was a kid that his parents didn't have much time for him because of the experiment. Except the mother, though. The mother didn't want him to feel left out or anything. Eleanor does pass away, though.
Yeah, the mother did die.
So, and then they show about how he became Cyborg. Like, he was burnt, and then his father said...
by a boom tube, and then Mother Box kind of fixed him.
Right, and then it turned him into Cyborg. So they just use him as, to fight in the Red Room, that they called it. And then he gets a message from his father of, how he saved him and everything. And it really was close to heart. Like, you could feel Cyborg's character about how him and the father are really,
somebody's
connected.
watching and they see Cyborg, Superman, Metal Man.
You want to know who that is? He says, I am the father who will give Cyborg everything he's ever wanted.
Whoa.
Next issue. I wanted to show this page.
Issue number 1. Yeah, this is the one-shot, so that's fine. It's not really a spoiler.
It's a one-shot, yeah. But Cyborg faces a rude awakening in the next issue, the beginning, so I'm hooked. I mean, I had never read about Cyborg, but just seriously, after looking at this with a great story and a great plot that sets to have what's pre-issue number 1, you guys have got to get it. I mean, it's really heartfelt, and I can't wait to see how the Avenger Cyborg is going to continue in an ongoing.
Which is awesome, because, I got a stale taste in my mouth because of the previous series.
Right.
And I'm glad this time around somebody else appreciates it. So far, it's official. We are not dropping a single... Ooh, what's that? Hey, guys, sorry for that little edit. Turned out there was a humongous fly that decided to attack us while I was explaining stuff. So let's try this again without being attacked by
any other flying objects.
By the rot. For those of you that know what I'm talking about with the rot, you remember Swamp Thing. Yeah. Okay, so like I was saying, so far we've been liking everything from DC, which is great. I mean, there is no book yet that we are in the drop pile with. Even Aquaman, which was one of my lower books, is now pretty strong. However, there still are a couple like Birds of Prey for me. I don't know, you like Batgirl so far. So yeah. I just think it's really great that we have a lot of books.
Yeah, and everything is really turning out to, hit it off actually really well.
Alright, so let's get into my number 1, which was Supergirl, issue number 1. Now, I didn't like a few aspects of this book, and I'll explain why. I love this. Now, wait. When I say aspects, I mean things that happened to Kara in this issue, not the book. I liked the book. I hate the people that are surrounding Supergirl, though. So there's a lot of flashbacks and forth between Kara on Krypton and in Argo City, and then we get back to present day where she's Supergirl, but she's also Kara Danvers, and it shows her kind of acclimating into her new human life. She has to learn how to drive. Which they show, they do a lot of compare and contrast, like her on Krypton, where she was one of the smartest people on Krypton, to not being able to work a slideshow machine, the slide machine, to her being one of the more popular, prominent people, one of the scholars in the school, to being an awkward person that doesn't know how to run anything. And then she ends up hearing something on a train, and she ends up jumping in as Supergirl to save the day. And also we get a little bit of Cat Grant, Supergirl back and forth, which was interesting. And then we jump back to the DEO's office, where Director Chase basically chews her out and says, who gave you the right to be in your costume and save the day? If they don't authorize, if she doesn't or her parents don't authorize her to be Supergirl, she can't do that. And I love how this woman is, I feel bad for Kara because she went to them to get her powers back and did it, but this woman does not trust her at all, and all she keeps thinking about is, yeah, bullets bounce off you, but who do they bounce into then? And she's like, you don't have the abilities like your cousin did, and you need, if it's not authorized, you can't do it. And you can see how pissed she gets. And then, you get the parents who are trying to talk to her in Kryptonian, doing it very badly, and then she's just offset with a lot of things that they try to give her Krypton, and they're doing it wrong. So she kind of runs off. She goes to the fortress, and then she kind of hears somebody in the distance. And there's no surprise here because I mentioned this was the first arc. Cyborg Superman's back, and this time he remembers who he is, and he wants his daughter back. I thought this was an interesting issue. Again, I don't like the CEO person already. Maybe she'll become one of those people where you hate her in the beginning, and then it turns out she trusts Kara, and I don't know. Nightwing issue 4 broke away from the Parliament of Owls. I hope at some point she breaks away from the DEO and just does her own thing. She doesn't need the DEO. We don't need this, them forcing her to have a family. If she's going to have a family, I would hope it would be more organic than just, these are your appointed agent parents and they're going to teach you how to be human. I was hoping for more of her choice, less, okay, we gave you your powers back. These are the conditions for now that you're Supergirl again. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Maybe after the first 2 story arcs, she'll break away and, become her own person. And, technically the DEO can't stop her. Anyway, what she's doing, in my opinion, is literally just humoring them. And that's just my humble opinion. Book of the week, for many reasons, and we'll get into it, goes to Superman, issue number 6. Book of the week. And I'm going to explain why. This is the final part to the first story arc. And
really?
This book officially has taken a head lead on Action Comics. I now, with both first story arcs done, I can say that Action Comics, while it was very strong, falls to second place to Superman, which goes to first place. Why? Superman's fighting the Eradicator, now with all the souls of Krypton within him, and then finally he releases them to judge the Eradicator, and they judge him, which was awesome, unworthy. And Eradicator still has one being left inside of him. Now, Superman took all the souls of Krypton. Now, let's think back to issue number 2 or 3, where a animal friend got sucked into the Eradicator. Well, it turns out it was a plan all along. Superman left Krypto in there because as him and Krypton, the Kryptonian spirits, are fighting Eradicator, he uses Krypto to basically just separate Eradicator from all the power left within him, because he's able to pull Krypto out, because Krypto basically follows Superman's voice right back, and then he pulls Krypto right out of the Eradicator, whereas the spirits probably couldn't. And in the end, thanks to Krypto, Superman, and the Kryptonians, Eradicator is no more. And right before they leave, the Kryptonians give Superman their blessing, which was awesome. And then basically the Eradicator just fades away. He's like, how could you do this? You've destroyed your legacy and your family by allowing a half-breed. You've destroyed the House of El, everything, Krypton. And he's like, is this how you felt, alone in the darkness? He's like, I never felt alone. And that's where he gets his family back. But before he does that, very Superman 4 here, he actually fixes the lunar lander and the flag. And this is what you see. Oh, God, that's the first moment. The Krypto moment, Krypto being back, was the first. This, where he fixes the flag, fixes the lunar lander, fixes everything, was part 2. Part 3 was where he gets the key to the city, because he fixed the lunar lander, and obviously he's there. The world knows he's there to save the day. And then it gets even better. because not only were Clark put his glasses on, but apparently so does John. Why? Because he goes back to the Justice League, apologizes to Batman about the Batcave on the moon, which Batman's very pissed off about. He says, but his father always taught them to fix their messes. And I love how Wonder Woman's like, we? And he's like, I'd like to introduce you to Superboy.
I knew they were going to call him that.
And look at the way they called him that, too, by the way. It's not like Connor Kent's Superboy, and there's always room for multiple Superboys. There were multiple Robins. So, I think that this book ended on a very strong note. We got the end of the Eradicator. We've got Superman basically making his mark and taking his place back on Earth, and this picture should be a poster, and the artist that did it, dude. I mean, we've got the classic. I mean, as much as everybody's complaining, no blue, no red trunks, no yellow belt, no red boots. I gotta admit though, this suit pays homage a lot to the beginning, the very, very beginning of Superman, mixed with a little bit of the current and a little bit of the New 52 with the belt. This picture, getting the key to the city, the whole, like, it erases everything New 52 Superman had, where people were against him, people didn't like him. Peter J. Tomasi.
Wow.
Peter J. Tomasi, Dan Jurgens, amazing work. You guys have brought Superman back, but I gotta give Superman a heads up on Action, because Action gave us Doomsday and a fight and yada yada. This book not only set the way for Connor. See, I'm still inside of me. I want Connor back too, but it sets up John. Crypto is not gone. Crypto is so back, and it didn't take more than it. Literally, beginning of arc, end of the arc, and it's classic Crypto. Superman's status quo is back to the way it was pre-New 52, which is freaking spectacular. And now all we have to deal with is Super Lex. And find a way to get Clark back as Clark Kent and Lois back as Lois Lane.
Is Jonathan's weakness still Kryptonite?
We don't know. We haven't seen Kryptonite yet to find out.
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm wondering as well, but I mean, he is half human, half not. So I don't know. And I love how on the cover, don't let the cover fool you. John Kent does not have a collar like the New 52 Superman. He just didn't zip it up all the way. As you saw on the last page, it goes up to here and it's zipped up all the way. So I guess the cover artist is trying to pay a little bit of homage to the New 52 Superman, but
oh wow.
This book had everything. From the feel of Superman to the hope to the way, and Bibbo. Oh, there was a part where he brought a piece of the moon back to Bibbo because he took the other rock away. Mm-hmm. And Bibbo said, "This Superman is welcome in my place anytime." And basically, the world now says Superman's back. You know, Superman. Like, it looks like he was basically he's back. Period. I don't even want to overanalyze it. They're just like, there is a Superman. He's here, and everybody's happy.
Yep.
And I love the Bibbo part in the end where he's like, "You can come to my place anytime." So that was just great. This book was great. I can't say enough great things about Superman. I can't wait for issue 7. There's another thing I can say. I can't wait for issue 7. I can't wait to see where Action Comics goes next. Maybe it'll pull up from where it was. Obviously, Superman is focusing heavily on him and John until we get Super Sons, which I believe actually should be coming out soon. That's another issue 1. That, Teen Titans is still coming out as an issue number 1. And Trinity, which I believe Trinity is coming out this month as a once-a-month book.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's really it. Trinity, Super Sons, and Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So, we've got a lot of great books to look forward to this month. But this week's review officially is over. Yeah. As always, guys, feel free to let us know in the comments below what you guys thought about the books that came out this week. Hopefully you guys are having a great new Comic Day Wednesday, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But, as always, I look forward to hearing from all you guys. Pete, I'm looking forward to your comment. I will answer your comment from last week. Sorry, it's just been hella busy. I do read, even if I didn't answer, because I know 2 weeks ago I didn't answer him, but I did read it. Awesome stuff. I will be replying to yours from last episode. I'll be replying to you this episode, and I'll be replying to everybody on the haul video. I haven't got a chance. I will go back and check that out, probably before this video is even uploaded. So, if you guys want to, feel free, let me know what you guys liked from this week's comics, didn't like from this week. Agree with what we say here, disagree with what we say here. I know a lot of people agree to disagree on a lot of Mike's books. Some people don't like Action Comics, which I don't understand, but any recommendations as well. I will get into Black Axe, Pete, I promise, before it gets too far along. I gotta find a way to get those first 2 issues, and then I will. Till then, as always, guys, we are Comic Frontline, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you haven't subscribed, hopefully you will. This way we're in your sub box, and you don't miss out on a single video. Also, check out comicfrontline.com for even more Comic Frontline goodness. Everybody take care. Have a great a new comic day. We'll see you back here on, back on my channel on Friday for Dark Avenger Live. Back here again for the Dark Avenger Haul at the end of this week. And then again right here for the Dark Avenger comic book review. Till then, take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. We'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Later, everybody.